Due to the nature of this program, listener aggression is advised.
Hey, I'm Carla. I'm Heidi. And we're the Butcher Baby.
This is Charlie Scene.
Yo, what's up? This is AJ from Fire from the Gods.
This is Rich Ward, the Duke of Metal from Fozzy.
Saddam Leader from In Search of Sun.
This is Beefcake the Mighty from Guam.
And Postulus Maximus.
Ahoy, this is Chris from Maelstrom.
Yo, what's up? This is J-Dog from Hollywood Undead.
Hi, this is Ash Costello from New Year's Day.
This is Tommy Vex from the Bad Wolves.
This is Joe from Dead.
Brutality!
And I'll tell you now to stay fucking metal, yeah!
What's going on? This is Garrett from Discrepancies.
This is ATG. You're listening to Honest Brutality.
Walk up in the video with a handful of matches and a can full of gas. It's about to go down. Mix up the tunes and infuse them with fumes. Now that's how you rock the crowd. Level up prestige. Now enhance the pliers. Got a grip on the game. So
hey everybody, welcome to Honest Brutality. This is Big Sloppy with my cohorts, Camera Rebel.
Hey.
And Evil.
What?
What? What do you want, Sloppy?
I want to have a good time today is what
Hell
I fucking
yeah,
want.
I do
Jesus
too.
Christ.
Well,
you guys
good
are
luck.
I don't think it's going to be hard because on the line we have a couple guys from the band Discrepancies. We got ATG, Antonio the Great, and Garrett the Awesome, apparently. The band Discrepancies out of St. Louis. How you doing, fellas?
What's going on, man?
Doing good, man. Can't complain.
Good.
Could be a little warmer, but anyways.
Oh, are you guys a part of that freezing ass cold going on back there right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think yesterday wind chill was -10, maybe a little bit lower.
Oh, man. It's like 60 over here today.
I know. We're having to sweat out here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say, fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you guys complaining about the cold?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I haven't left the house in 2 days.
I wouldn't either.
I don't blame you a lick, buddy. Let's talk about your band a little bit. Discrepancies out of St. Louis. You guys have been at it for a little while now. Looks like, what did you start around 2014? Is that right?
Garrett, he would be better at answering that. When did we start this?
You don't even know. He's like, when did we start this band? Like yesterday, 2 days ago, or something like that. Yeah, we started. I mean, we technically kind of formed in like the end of 2013, but we didn't really actually start doing releases and getting a real plan together and settling everything until 2014. So yeah, that's accurate.
Okay, and you guys dropped an EP right out of the gate. It was just Discrepancies, right? Didn't have a title on it.
Yeah, just self-titled.
Yeah, and then that was what, 5 songs, I think.
Yeah, like 5 and a little intro thing.
Yep. I'm not counting the intro because I did see that you put an intro on the new album, The Awakenings, as well. I noticed.
Yep.
And by the way, you guys know how to drop a fucking video. I swear to God, every time I turn around, there's another Discrepancies video coming out. Every damn song seems like there's another video.
It's good promo, that's good marketing.
Yeah. So I take it you guys enjoy dropping videos.
Absolutely. It's something I feel like I had to fight for in the beginning because I was like really adamant about it. I'm like, yeah, we need to drop some videos ASAP. And everybody else is like, no, we need to write music. I'm like, fuck that. Like, no.
That really, he's not wrong. That was definitely a hot topic for a long while. And then we finally realized we were like, because I feel like a lot of times the, what would you call it? Like the standard is a lot of people do like 2, 3, maybe even 4 videos for an album. And we were kind of talking about it, and Antonio brought up, he's like, what, we have the time frame. Why don't we just try and do video for like almost every song? Like pretty much anyone that makes sense. So that's what we did. We're like, fuck it, let's just make it happen. And, reached out to a bunch of people. And Antonio's definitely like the video guy. He comes up with all the ideas for the videos and does it all on his brain and makes it work. So
now are you guys
that's why they're just okay.
That's why they're just okay.
Are you guys producing the videos yourselves, or are you guys hiring somebody in to come film them for you?
We've kind of used different people. We've gone back and forth. What's kind of interesting is St. Louis has an interesting market because there's a lot of people here trying to do video and a lot of people here trying to do photography. So you have a lot of different options when it comes to those types of media outlets. And we've used a guy named Freddie D'Angelo for a majority of our videos. He did Rock the Show, Raising the Bar.
Rock the Show. But for the record, we played some of you guys' music throughout this past year. The Awakening and Art of War we played on our show. But Rock the Show came out. You dropped that video, I want to say about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
We haven't stopped giggling. Every time we watch that damn video, it's a blast. And,
amazing.
And the song is fucking good.
I just want to say, for the record, that is the most metal use of the bop it I have ever seen.
Oh, yes, that's awesome. I was hoping somebody would catch it. It's a bop it. We were really worried because of how far back he was filming that nobody would even realize what it was.
Oh, you guys will probably get a cease and desist from bop it. It's very clear that it's a bop it.
That is not how that's used, sir.
My question on that thing is, somebody in there is wearing one of the masks from the band Ghost. Where the hell did that come from?
I think, was that Antonio? Was that Matthew that was wearing that? I have no idea where he got it. I'm not even gonna lie. I think that guy, his son, is the one that had the T-Rex costume.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying that what would have topped it off is if Fat Beats would have caught one of those hot dogs in his mouth.
He did. He did at one point, but they took I think Freddie edited it out because he was hacking it up while he was trying to play. He had stopped playing.
He should have left it in there. That would have been hilarious.
The
Choking on a hot dog.
The look on his face as those hot dogs are flying in is priceless. Did he know?
We shot that oh my God, we took so many takes of that scene. It's hilarious. It took so many hot dogs to the face. Yeah, this is a normal Saturday for you, right, Steve?
I'm pretty sure
that was my next question.
Entire pack at one point and just smacked him across the face because we thought a slow-mo of that would look hilarious, but it didn't end up looking that good. But
a few people took their hot dogs and put twigs in them, so they look like straight up weapons. Like
prison shit for throwing them at him.
Oh, that's just cold-blooded, man.
That's just amazing.
What's great about that video, it's not just that it's so entertaining, but it really speaks to the fact that you guys are a lot of fun. You come across as being a really fun act to go see.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank
you. I'm glad that came. Antonio could probably speak more on this, but we shot a lot of really serious videos before this, and we have another one that we're really wanting to do soon that is also going to be really serious. But we were like, we really kind of need to break this this cycle because everybody's going to think we're taking this too seriously, especially with having some songs on the record that are kind of fun and that were intended to have a little bit of a lighter message, I guess, to them. So we decided that we needed to do this now rather than wait until later, until everybody was like, okay, this band's way too serious.
Yeah. Well, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Well, you talk about serious. The Art of War video is real serious, pretty heavy. Yeah. I was checking out Prevail, Wake Up, Keep Hope Alive, and there's kind of a theme there. It's almost like you guys are trying to inspire people to be better through those songs. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm guessing that you want me to call you Antonio or ATG? What do you want there, partner?
Antonio's fine.
Fine. You know what? I'm just going to call you the Great. How's that?
That works too. You call me Bob.
Call you Bob. No, we're talking to Super Bob next. That's the next one that I like.
If you're not careful, he'll start calling you ATM. So let him roll with whatever he's comfortable with.
Yeah, that's what my wife calls me. So I'll leave that. But I digress.
Yeah, an empty one. Yeah. In the negative balance.
So anyway, I'm guessing you, the Great, are the one that wrote the lyrics to that song mostly, or those few songs right there that I mentioned. It had to come from a place where it meant something to you. It's the way it comes across anyway.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, everything that's on those records pretty much I've dealt with at some point in my life. So I just kind of wanted to recreate that and really dive into it and present it to people because I know other people go through the same shit. So I don't know. That seems to be my best way of writing because I can rap fast, but I'm not the best at it. I can follow a beat, but I'm not the best at it. But I feel like what I really strive in is getting my ideas out and things that I've actually been through. I think that's where I strive at the best, honestly.
I wanted to touch bases on a couple things you just said, and that would be your ability to rap fast and to follow a beat. You're very, very talented, all of you, actually. Does everybody in the band rap?
No.
Everybody tries, but Antonio is the only one that actually has a certificate that would say so.
Good.
So with the lyrics and the meaning behind your songs, have you ever had a fan come up to you and tell you how much your songs have impacted them and helped them through their trials and tribulations in life?
Absolutely. And it's still like, to me, it's like a huge moment for me every time. And I'm just like, what? Like, seriously? Are you kidding me? Like, most of these. Go ahead, Garrett. Go ahead.
Every time somebody says that, I'm just like, man, you should have seen the first draft he sent us. God.
Oh, well, it's one of those.
He's not wrong. It's like a different world. Like, I just did rap before this, and it's a completely different world when you have to write something and then send it to the rest of your band and be like, what do you guys think of this? And they all be like, that's fucking garbage, fam.
Fam.
Try again, motherfucker.
I love it.
That was not great on that new Lil Pump record, but we're trying to write them.
Right. But I mean, it's honest. It's helped. It's helped me grow a lot as a lyricist because now I do rewrite and make sure that I'm getting it, down better. Because, the first take isn't always the best. And sometimes it is the best, but a lot of times it's not.
Right. But absolutely. Well, it's one of those things where, music, I believe in my heart, and this is one of the biggest reasons why I do this, is that music saves lives. And your message is just so strong. And it's just amazing that you're getting that feedback. I'm sure it fuels your fire. Sloppy is chomping at the bit over here. Go ahead, Sloppy.
I just wanted to say that song Rock the Show touched me in a deep moment. And I saw the inspirational video with the hot dogs in the face. It just changed my life.
Oh my God.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I thought that video was going to be a fucking train wreck because we were sitting down writing the ideas a day before we were getting ready to shoot it.
Awesome.
The thing that was so bad was we sat down with the videographer, and Freddie D'Angelo is the guy we worked with for that one, and he is really big on storyboards, and a lot of other people we worked with aren't super big on storyboards. So when we told him we just want to be ridiculous as possible, he's like, all right, let's start putting down some ideas. So we were writing this storyboard of ideas, and you can imagine drag race, hot dogs, guy peeing, walking a cat. People are like, we're all just staring at the storyboard like, what the fuck is this?
I was like, wow. I was like, did we already pay him? Can we not do this now?
Where did the redneck stuff come in? The
hillbilly dance?
Yeah, that's great.
Oh man, whose idea was that? Definitely wasn't mine.
I'm pretty sure I think that was a mix between Steve's and mine, actually.
Hilarious.
The real idea when we first started was that we wanted to mock as many different popular genres as we could. That was the real concept, was we wanted to we were gonna make fun of the country genre, and then we were gonna mock the hip hop genre with the nice cars and even though we're actually broke, or right. We were gonna mock the the EDM with where Addison is slow-mo smashing the space bar on the laptop and stuff like that. So that was the idea. So some of the ideas kind of stuck from that, but then they all just got horrible.
Dogs can't play. I don't know whose idea that was.
Yeah,
two things that I thought were just deadpan hilarious. One was the hillbillies, and then the great just kind of walks in really? I thought that was funny. And then you mentioned the hip hop reference with all the nice cars,
right?
And you're sitting there on a bicycle.
Right,
I loved it.
Yep.
I loved it.
Did you guys notice that's a lowrider bicycle? We had never seen one until that day. It was the coolest thing.
Dude, let me tell you something. Now, I'm a child of the 80s, all right? And back in the day, we would take bicycles. Not only would we lower them, we would take Bondo and we'd make them look almost like a frame of a vehicle. And then we would have a trailer hooked up with a generator that worked off the wheels that run our stereo system on that trailer. So yeah, it was pimp ass.
That's so ghetto.
It was totally ghetto, but we fucking loved. I was rolling down. You would think it'd be playing something popular. Hell no! I was riding down on my lowrider bicycle playing Ozzy tunes back in the day, man.
That's amazing.
Ozzy and Judas Priest, baby. That's what that was. Big Sloppy in the day.
So now tell me a little bit about your music background. Did you guys do music in school, or are you formally trained? What do you got going on there?
I think Addison and I are the only two that are like technically did it in school. So we were both in like jazz band growing up, and I even did marching band in high school. I played trombone, and then so then I actually played drums when we first started the band, just because I had watched other people play, and I just like had a natural rhythm with it. And then I switched to bass, which I had also played guitar at the time, so it was easy for me to kind of switch over to that. Addison actually probably has the most training out of anybody, which is why if you ever like watch him play some of those songs, like his hand movements are just unbelievable. Like it looks like his hand is broken when he's playing some of these chords, because he was trained at Mizzou here in classical guitar, and he almost got a degree in it, but he stopped going before he had finished that. But
wow.
That's why some of the chords are like, we only have one guitar player, but it sounds like there's like 4 guitars. It's just because he can do this crazy stuff.
What about you, Antonio?
I have no professional training whatsoever. I just like, I mean, my uncles used to rap like when I was really little, and I used to watch them, and I used to think that it was like the coolest shit in the world. Then I kind of got over it, and then a little movie called 8 Mile came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody was battling. So like the next day, my whole crew was at the bus stop before school battle rapping each other.
We had Eric July from Backwards on here, and he was talking. Ripa Raps, was that his name back in the day? Yeah. He was talking about the battle rap scene and how they would go in somewhere and battle rap, and before they'd even get to his verse, the guys were just breaking out in fights in the crowd over this whole rap scene. Is that commonplace?
Now I would say so, but honestly, I don't know too much. That's the only experience I have with battles. Like, I used to do that when I very, very first started rapping. I used to battle my friends. So like, we never fought. Like you know what I mean? Like we all knew each other very well. So nothing was like, let's say like, I would talk about my friend's warts that he had on his feet. Like nobody knew about it. Like nobody knew about it but me, but like all was fair. Like,
didn't you for a while, Antonio? Didn't you like battle rap people on YouTube though?
Yeah, I did like a couple tournaments on YouTube to where it's like it was like a bracket thing. They'd have like 20 or so rappers enter, and then each week they put you up against somebody, and then you would they give you a beat. You would make fun of the other rapper on that beat, and then whoever does the best like moves on. Like I did one of those style tournaments, and I ended up winning it, and I was supposed to win like some Beats headphones, and the guy just like never sent me anything.
I gotta be real honest. This sounds like something D&D version of fucking rapping.
Oh yeah, of the actual.
It's the nerdiest rap battle I've ever heard in my life.
Absolutely. Well, man, I wanted those fucking headphones. I was pissed. I'm gonna look him up today.
Go get him.
I almost spit that shit out my nose.
I think Honest Brutality should pitch in and send Antonio some headphones.
I think you're right.
Hey, Antonio, how do you go from being, just a rapper to getting involved with these guys that are musically proficient and doing the rock and metal scene and joining forces? How did that happen?
Me and Garrett worked together, so I swindled him into buying one of my Fire mixtapes. Like basically, I was like, let me start over. Before I say anything, if you know Garrett, then you know Garrett is cheap. Okay. So like I'm up at work trying to sell people my CD, and then I'm like, yo, you should buy this. It's only $5. And he's looking at me like, nah. And I'm like, all right, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna pull up a YouTube video. You listen to one song. If you like it, you know what I'm saying, you can buy it. If not, no sweat, not a big deal. And like he listened to it, and I guess he just felt bad for me because he bought it. So and we just kind of ended up, talking about music, and very slowly, like he was already working with stuff with Addison. They were already trying to put a band together. I believe Garrett came to Addison was like, "Hey, I know this guy that raps. What do you think about having that in the band?" Addison was like, "Fuck that."
I'm not gonna lie. When we first started writing, we thought we were gonna be like the next prog metal, like North Lane meets like I don't know, like Intervals or something like that. Right. And then we just couldn't really find anybody that did any type of vocal style that we liked. And I was like, well, what if we just try a different direction instead of just being like sticking ourselves in this box and saying we have to make this style? Why don't we just try something different? Yeah. And ultimately, that exact reason is why we ended up with the name Discrepancies as well, is because we wanted to have so many different styles that didn't necessarily always work together, but made them work together anyway. So that was kind of what inspired that whole thing, as well as the formation there.
And it beats the hell out of calling yourself 9 Mile.
7.5 Mile was thrown around for a while, though.
Great, Bob. Listen, question for you, because obviously you're coming from a rap background, and these guys are playing rock, and now you're in basically a rock band. Have you? I'm going to assume beforehand you weren't really following the rock scene so much, weren't real familiar with a lot of the artists. Are you now like a follower of rock and metal, or are you a fan of that genre now?
Absolutely, but mostly like local and people that we've played with on the road.
Okay.
Like I'm like those are my biggest fans. I'm not fans, but I'm the biggest fan of them. It's mostly underground people, but I do like I like Breaking Benjamin and stuff now. Like I was so under a rap and like R&B rock that I didn't even know who the fuck Breaking Benjamin was. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
like I've definitely crossed over a bit, but yeah, mostly it's like just local people, the people that we perform with.
On the topic of touring, you guys have toured with some pretty big names here. You mentioned Breaking Benjamin, Mushroom Head, Alter Bridge, POD, Sick Puppies. Was there like a oh shit moment where it was like everything clicked and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm standing here on stage. I can't believe I'm on this tour.
I have two moments that I feel like Antonio probably shares at least one of these, but I have two shows that we played that were definitely like, wow, we're really like taking a big step with this. And the first one was Mushroom Head.
Right.
Like before that, we had sold out a venue here that's no longer open. It was called Cicero's, and it had like a 200 cap. And like when we sold that out, we were like, whoa, like we're actually doing something. This has to be a fluke. And then we played there again, and it sold out again. So we were like, wow, we're really doing something. And then Mushroom Head was coming to town. We had met them when we were on the road in Ohio, I think. And so when they came, we found out they were coming to town when we were still on tour, and we messaged the promoter here, and we messaged the drummers from Mushroom Head, and they basically asked us to be on the show. And so we were the first band that played. So we were like, they had a tour package of 4 people plus another local and us. And I was like, man, we're going to play for like 10 people. And there was like, probably when we played, probably like 650, almost 700 people there. Wow. And we were like, we were really freaking out because we're like, this is crazy. Like we had never played to like an audience like that before. And like when we were on the road before that, we were playing, to like 30 people on a good night. So so seeing that was huge. And then the next big one, it just happened this past summer, but we played a big radio festival here called Point Fest, and Jonathan Davis from Korn canceled their set because he was sick, and we were really bummed because we thought people weren't going to come out to the festival anymore. And what really happened is they pushed all the bands back and added extra bands on, so we like a prime time slot. There was nobody else playing at the time, so everybody at the festival basically had to watch us.
Nice.
And we ended up playing for probably like 13,000 people, maybe more.
Wow. That must be that cover photo on Facebook that you have.
Yeah. We played that festival, and like we didn't think that people were going to dig it, and like people were like jumping around. There were like mosh pits everywhere. People were like doing circle pits, and we weren't even telling people to do anything. Like Antonio, like at most was like saying get up or like waving his hands around. People were just doing everything that he said, and it was nuts. And we did
the
he
power.
Did like
yeah, I'm getting chills here on this story. That's
absolutely
awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, we did like a brief NWA cover going into one of our songs. It was like a minute little interlude, and dude, there were people just freaking out, and we were like, wow, we thought, because it's a rock festival, so we were like, nobody's even gonna get this, and people were like, I don't know, it was pretty crazy.
Throwing hot dogs.
Well, I don't know if you have different ones, but
the rap rock is my favorite combination.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say Point Fest as well. Point Fest, I think for all of us was just like a very, very huge moment for us. And I remember thinking like, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be cool. This might be cool. And then I like look out from behind the drums and stuff, and I see how many people are actually out there, and I'm like, fuck this. I'm going home. Like,
that's beautiful.
And I still, to this day, like I just go run to the store or whatever, anywhere I go, people are like, oh my God, I saw you at Point Fest. I'm like, I ain't nobody. Like,
that's so awesome.
Don't even sweat it. Like,
I saw you at Point Fest. That's cool. Can I borrow $5?
Right, exactly.
Well, that's cool. So, I mean, you guys obviously like to play live. You played 50 dates in 60 days, for God's sake. So this coming year, I'm assuming, well, shit, this album's been out for about a year now. Is that right? So are you guys already writing tunes for the next album?
We definitely have a lot of pre-production that we've already started working on. I think right now we've probably got like 8 songs or so that I would say are pretty like structured. But to be honest with you, like that doesn't really necessarily mean anything for us because like going into the Awakening, we probably had like 25 songs done that we narrowed down. And we like to have that because sometimes I feel like if you don't write enough material, you're stuck making something. You could be stuck polishing a turd. You know what I mean? Like versus
we know all about that.
Little spit shine.
Yeah, so I feel like it's better to have the more material to sit there and A and B them and figure out which one you think is actually going to be the better song and which one you just enjoy, playing more because you do have to play that for the next 2+ years. So
that's like hard to do is sitting there trying to figure out what should go on the album, what shouldn't go on the album. Like I didn't want the last song, Make You Love Me. I didn't want that on the album. I don't even remember what happened, but I guess we ended up deciding to throw it on there because it was really personal for me, and I felt like it might have been too personal. But we went ahead and threw that one on there, and Rock This Show was another one we had to fight for. A couple of people didn't like that song.
Yeah,
are you kidding? That's my favorite song on the album.
Well, the original pre-production of the song sounded drastically different, and I was really like,
oh shit.
Honestly, like Addison brought it to me and I like listened to it. I was like, this is fucking dope. I wrote a verse, sent it like to everybody. Garrett immediately he goes, are you serious? Like he thought I was joking. He's like, is this a joke verse? Like this is like haha. I'm like, fuck you, this is dope. He says it sounds way different, but I think it pretty much sounded the same. But
it's amazing.
And obviously it got better in the studio, but I really do dig that song. I just thought we needed to like liven it up a little bit, loosen it up, like not everything be so damn serious.
Are we looking at an evolution in the songwriting process and your musical style going forward?
Yeah, I would say so. Definitely. It's a little bit of a struggle. We just kind of sit around, throw ideas back and forth, tell each other we all suck until we come up with
That's pretty true, actually. Like that's one thing like we had when Steve recently joined the band, he was like, I'm really excited to get writing on a new record, blah, blah, blah. The last record sounds great. You guys did awesome, but I'm really excited to get into the new one. And I was like, you just got to know that coming into this record that we're all brutally honest. And if you can't take that, you're going to hate your life for the next like 6 months to a year. And he was like, oh no, I can handle it. And like the first thing he sent us, we were like, absolute dog shit. Don't ever send something like that ever again. I was like, all right.
I think the first thing you guys got to do next time you put your album together is leave Garrett out of the decision-making process because he's trying to kick out the best fucking song.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. Our writing process is like, a lot of people tell us that we work like a hip hop beat studio in a sense, because like a lot of times it'll start with me or Addison writing the initial riff, and then usually if I write the riff, Addison comes in and adds a lot of tweaks to it. Addison's really good at finding like chord structure that sits well in like a chorus and stuff like that. And then I'll add the top layers and we'll send everything to Antonio. He'll tell us whether or not it's basically like good enough or not and whether or not he feels it, because if he doesn't enjoy it, it's really hard for him to write like quality lyrics to it. And he'll just kind of like be like, I'm just not feeling this. So it's really hard for me to connect and write something that's solid. And it sucks when that happens because he'll send it back and then we got to sit there and like, we could already love the song and we got to figure out a way to make it to where it fits with everybody. Yeah. And then Steve adds drums usually in the middle of that process as well. So
that is quite
Steve's actually on this new one has become really solid. He just got his own little like beat making studio basically at his home. So he has like Logic where he can add like a lot of keys and stuff to it. So we'll hopefully see a lot of that in the new material.
Yeah, hopefully Steve will start doing something for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, no more dog shit.
That's the title of the new album, by the way.
Dog shit.
No more dog shit?
No more dog shit.
Oh my gosh.
I'm assuming this coming year looks pretty promising as far as putting shows together goes. You guys getting out on the road a little bit?
Yeah, actually, we just locked in quite a few dates out of town already for this upcoming year.
Nice.
Actually, this month we're going to Chicago and Wisconsin for a weekend, which we're pretty excited about. And then we're aiming to branch out from there. We're actually getting ready to, I think, put a lot of those announcements out, which will all be available over at the discrepanciesmusic.com. If you just do /calendar, everything gets updated there.
Nice.
So
nice plug. Nice plug.
Nice plug. So now, are you guys cruising in a van or a bus? What are you cruising in?
So we cruise in a rental van because we used to have a van. And,
oh my God,
it was. Yeah, the Death Machine and
tell me more about the Death Machine.
Do what?
Tell me more about the Death Machine. Elaborate.
It was I saw like our old bass player Danny, he had this van and it was like it wasn't the nicest. I believe like we almost died almost like a week into our tour that we did that summer.
Yeah,
like
did it, actually. That was really
It was really scary. Like we heard something weird. Like Addison was driving, by the way. But, like we heard something like a little weird, felt a little bit of a rumble, and we're like, it's probably nothing. Next thing you know, the tire just like pops. I think it was the left driver's side tire. So like Addison is trying everything in his freaking body, his little frail. He's very small, by the way. To keep this.
Did you just call him a pussy?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Tried everything in his body to keep us on the road because it's like going left, and like I shit you not, like it had to be like a foot before we hit the guardrail. He just gave up of trying to keep us on the road, and we just went into the grass instead before hitting this guardrail, and we end up on the other side of the highway. And now there's a semi coming directly at us.
Oh my God.
Like, so he swerves back into the grass and the van comes to a stop like a few feet before an overpass where we were getting ready to be down until like another, like drop down to another highway.
Wow.
Like,
I bet all of you had to change your pants.
I like, everybody's like running around like freaking out, calling the police, calling their mom and their girlfriend. I'm just like sitting on the back of the van eating a bag of Cheetos like another day.
Like right on, man, right on. That was cool. Oh my God.
Yeah, no,
the life on the road.
Yeah, there was like the van itself had a lot of like internal issues, and Danny knew it at the time, and like we really like begged him and pushed him to get it checked out. And I don't know if he even actually did get it checked out before we left. I'm pretty sure he didn't, and like that ended up being part of the problem. And like I don't know, there was just so many issues with the van, and so we're actually looking to get a van right now. We've had a few people come to us, but we're kind of looking for something specific because we would really like to. I'm going to plug here, but I don't know if you guys have ever watched like Digital Tour Bus. They have like a Bus Invaders channel on YouTube where you can like watch people and stuff like that. And I personally am a huge fan of that. And so we've been trying to get like a specific type of van that we can get that we know that the engine runs for like hundreds of thousands of miles, and that we can also just like strip out and like make into something that is really like tour vehicle based that we can like pretty much live in, you know?
Right.
So that's what we're really looking for right now. In the meantime, we pretty much rent a van whenever we go.
Which one of you is the practical joker?
Everybody except Addison, I feel like. That's where I would put that.
Right. Steve's probably the worst. Steve and Garrett both Like, which is kind of okay because they just like fuck with each other.
Perfect.
I don't know. Steve fucks with Addison a lot, especially because Addison has this really bad habit where when he falls asleep sitting up, but he puts his head back and he opens his mouth all the way.
No.
So
hot dogs. Hot dogs.
Steve will like throw shit in his mouth, or Steve will like slam on the brakes and scream really loud, and he starts freaking out.
That's one of my favorite tricks.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So, what is your guys' favorite part about being on tour?
Yours might be different, but I would say mine's a tie between two things. One is seeing the different way that people appreciate music in different parts of the country. And like in St. Louis, for example, we've been doing this forever, but we burn a lot of demos with like a song or two on it that we stand outside shows in the freezing cold and hand them out to people and like, hey man, please check this out. Please check this out. Thank you. And like people will be like, yeah, whatever, piss off, and they'll just walk on. But like, for an example, like when we were in Nashville, like people were like so appreciative. Like they were like, dude, thank you so much. This is amazing. I'll listen to this on the drive home, blah, blah, blah. Like I just changed their lives, handing them the CD with a Sharpie written on it. And I was just like, all right.
Love it.
Nashville was the best. Nashville had the friendliest fucking people in the planet. I swear.
It's a great town.
And everybody was in a band too. Everybody else was in a band too. Like,
Yep. It was really nice. I would say the other cool thing about touring is just seeing some of the cool shit in the world that I never thought I'd be able to see. You know what I mean? Seeing it in person versus seeing it in the pictures. A lot different.
Yeah. What about you, Antonio?
Mine would be like seeing a crowd like turn around. Basically, we'll go into somewhere we've never been, and if the venue like has like a good crowd and everything, then we'll start setting up on stage and just looking. I could like feel the eyes on me, and they're like, "What is this bullshit?" Like, like I swear to God, if this guy starts rapping, I'm gonna fucking rip his head off. But like about like 10 seconds to the first song, like you can see their faces change, and that's probably my favorite part about being on the road. It's like getting new fans and winning crowds over.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I don't wear my glasses on stage, so I can't see anything that's actually.
If you guys had advice for up and coming bands, what would it be?
My big, I stand tried and true to this today. Me and Steve and Antonio. I mean, and Addison sometimes, but no matter what anybody says, flyers and demos will never be worse than like a Facebook post. I said that kind of weird, but like getting out in people's faces and handing them demos and handing them flyers will always be more effective. People will respond to it, they'll listen to it, and even when CD players stop being a thing, like the fact that they have to look at the name and they recognize it. Like there's so many people that we talk to now that are like, oh yeah, I've heard of your band. I don't know if I've really heard anything of it. And I'm like, that's cool. But like people become familiar with the brand and you're pushing the brand to them that like they're more inclined the next time you bring it up to listen to it or to take an ear of it. So
maybe,
I like that.
Maybe because you made a physical impact on them.
Right.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You can't do that, in my opinion, with a Facebook post. Yeah. And I think that, don't get me wrong, social media is great. It allows you to reach a massive audience, but there's no better thing than getting out there and just talking to people, handing them a flyer and, talking to them. So.
Absolutely.
We've been talking to musicians now for quite a long time, and you are the very first one that I've heard say that. It's still alive.
Yeah, I mean that's what we've done since the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, like we've done that. And the thing that we used to do for a while is we would take basically like a percentage of our paychecks and we would set that aside and go to Sam's Club and buy CDs and buy like external burners when our burners would break, and just sit there and burn. And sometimes we would have band practices and band meetings where we would sit down and be talking about things, and we would all bring our laptops and burn them while we're sitting there talking. So we're like multitasking.
Yeah.
On the road too, we'd like freaking hold up a McDonald's and just have our laptops in there, just burning CDs and talking.
Yeah, we really did. We would sit in a McDonald's for like 12 hours.
You guys
telling us they're begging us to leave.
You guys are the only band ever heard of that burns CDs. Everybody else is burning something else. We're talking about burns. You got quiet.
Too poor.
$2
on music video.
What does a West Coast presence look like for you guys?
So we've never actually made it out past Kansas or Nebraska, maybe.
Wow.
We've never made it farther west than that. Our Spotify numbers out there look great. In fact, LA is like one of our top 3 cities on top of Chicago. Ironically and kind of hurtfully, St. Louis is like 10 on our Spotify.
I feel you.
But like, yes, I don't know. It's something that we really want to do. The real struggle, and this is just being completely transparent with going to the West Coast, is when you go to the East Coast, so many cities and states that are bigger and have like these big followings are within like 2 and 3 hours of each other.
Right.
Driving to the West Coast, every drive is like 8 hours minimum, 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, it's true. We know this.
Like,
yeah.
Unless if you're on like a big tour package, like if the time comes a tour package gets offered to us that goes to the West Coast, I don't think that we'll hesitate for a minute to go. But until like there's just like the funding there, that's the real struggle.
Right. Well, and LA ain't no Nashville. I'll tell you that.
No. Hey, fellas, anything we haven't touched on you guys want to talk about?
Keep up with us over at discrepantiesmusic.com. We got all kinds of stuff coming up this year, so follow us there.
I noticed you guys are very active in everything you do, so.
Well, let's do that. Let's give them the pitch. Where can they find your music? How can they reach out and talk to you? And how can they book the band?
The central hub is at discrepantiesmusic.com. It's all one word there. If you are looking for us on social media, everything is /discrepancies. Except Twitter, we've got a weird one on there. It's Discrepancies TV because all the other names were taken. So we had to go a little weird on that one. But otherwise, yeah, man, definitely discrepantiesmusic.com. You can find all of the hubs there too. It's basically like a central platform. So if you're looking for anything, Spotify link, iTunes, everything is right there. And we also have a contact form on there too. If you want to reach out, you just want to chat, say, hey, what's up? Hey, I hate your band. It's right there for you.
Come on.
We love the hate around here. We get it all the time.
It's awesome to read like the good and bad. Got to take it all.
Absolutely.
One of our YouTube comments said "fucking slop," and it's my favorite YouTube comment.
Beautiful.
Like that's all it says. It's like the music video. It was the Wake Up Prevail. That video is probably like 7 minutes long. He watched that entire video and put "fucking slop."
At least he watched it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thanks for the view.
I love it.
No such thing as bad publicity.
That's right. We've had Discrepancies here today. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. Appreciate you coming on, taking your time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
It was a blast, guys. Thank you so much. You're a hoot.
Yeah, you absolutely. You guys did everything we wanted. We had fun. You guys giggled. You didn't hold anything back. That's what we look for when we talk to guys and have conversations.
Yeah, they did. They were totally holding back.
They didn't hold shit back.
I don't know.
I think Bob the Great has no filter.
I think it was fucking pure slop.
Yes.
I love it.
Slop.
It's amazing.
Hey,
Thank
guys,
you guys.
thanks again so much for doing our show today. We really appreciate you.
Definitely. Thank you guys so much.
Not a problem. Thanks for having us.
What a fucking riot those guys were.
Man.
Oh my gosh, I love them.
Straight up in each other's ass the whole time.
And ours. You know, I
love it.
I knew it going in.
Oh, yeah.
You could just tell. These guys, they have a passion for what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Their serious stuff is very serious, and the stuff that's not is so much fun.
Yeah.
This is a great all-around band, and if you haven't checked them out already, you should.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Go rock the show with these motherfuckers.
Hit them up. Go like their Facebook.
Yeah. Tell them you heard them here on Honest Brutality and say hey.
Go out and check out their website. Go to one of their shows.
Absolutely. Throw a hot dog at them? No, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm
Oh
kidding.
my gosh,
I'm kidding.
could you imagine
If that's a
their
trend
next
they started?
Yeah, their next show. Like everybody like brings a package of hot dogs.
At them live. That's like their big thing.
Like, why does it stink out here?
Why does this
Because it's
smell like
100
rotten
degrees and
hot
he's got
dogs?
pockets full of Oscar Myers.
Oh my gosh, that's
No, bad idea. Don't
Bad
do it.
idea.
Don't do it. You did not hear that here. This has been Honest Brutality. Thank you so much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of one another. Be good people. And most importantly, stay metal!
Stay metal.
Discrepancies?
Stay metal!
Yo, this is ATG from Discrepancies, and you're listening to Honest Brutality. This song is called Rock the Show.
Walk up in the venue with a handful of matches and a can full of gas. It's about to go down. Mix up the tunes and infuse them with fumes. Now that's how you rock the crowd. Level up prestige, now enhance the pliers. Got a grip on the game so they can't deny us. On your feet, let me see you put your hands up higher. Feel the heat coming off of that amplifier. Come through and hit the stage like a seek and destroy. Hitting punches like a modern day Beastie Boy. scene, pocket full of flint rocks. How you get the club, hot the roof is on fire. Like the mic in the booth, it moves and swoops straight to the stage. And it hoops and loops and shoots out to the fans. And they group, they boost the movie hoops. Scooch, wicked to our screws and loose my dude cuckoo. I ain't saying it all, but I pretend for y'all until I'm in a padded wall. Soon as they all thought that it was safe to rap, I come back on the attack like I'm hip-hop Jaws. Dun dun. Your whole squad better run, son. Dub spit, double the voltage of any stun gun. Old nuns could close buns whenever my tongue runs. Stunned by the fact I'm immaculately dropping hot dumb. Voltron, born, blazing sword. Scorch a score when the scoreboard slashing the D to the discrepancies forevermore. For every chord, every broken drum stick when the drums kick. You like that? Turn it up. Blow both of these speakers and have them burning up. Turn down for what? Learn from us. If you got two hands, it's your chance for a move. We rock, we roll, we rock this show. Let's go. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot non-stop. We rock, we roll, we rock this show. Let's go. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot. Yeah. Now I'm back with a vengeance, back to attack this rapping Olympic strap with a backpack, back full of written straight to the top of the map and back in an instant. This is rap intermission. This is what rapping is missing. Quality entertainment, facts and opinions. I'm talking to myself, you just happen to miss. Destruction, disaster, the damage is deep. We duck all the dust as we dash to the breed. Devastation and havoc, dispatch the police. Let them know that this man is dismantling the beat. Please pay attention, this is the scene. He wants to lead, she wants to see. She wants to meet, but he won't agree. He wants to flee, but she wants to D. They can't get enough, they loving our sound. Time to erupt, it's time to get loud. It's about time we rub on the ground. Jump up and up and get down. Yeah, jump, jump, put your hands up. Every time we show up, they go nuts. Jump, jump, put your hands up and up and get down. We rock, we roll, we rock this show. Let's go. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot non-stop. We rock, we roll, we rock this show. Let's go. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot. We rock, we roll, we rock the show. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot. We rock, we roll, we rock the show. Hip hop and rock, we rock the spot.
Yo, this is ATG from Discrepancies. You're listening to Honest Brutality. Check out this song called Not Alone.
Demons crowd around, dancing as they whisper words of impending doom. Everything is fine, yeah, it's all in your mind. Chill. It's in my head, but I can't take this lightly. These thoughts are mine, and that makes them frightening. I may be leaving soon. They gather around you as you drown. Now it's time to put on your face. Behind this cloak is just a ghost, jealous of every single breath you take. You're standing strong, but it seems the ground is shaking. You're not alone. We're standing with you till the end. I know your heart is aching. We're standing with you till the end. problems pile up on top of you. Impossible to